They'll kill you. So they gave me a British uniform. I went to town. We went through the whole procedures burying these two people. We came back, and anyway, I'm going to move on. It's a lot what happened there, but they put me on the train. 11 of us sent us to Frankfurt, Germany, for interrogation. We went through Regensburg, Linz, Austria, and all through the part of that country. And got up there, and they put me in a room, a little narrow room, and they brought in my meal. I saw the door open. I looked down. They brought in, sauerkraut. That's our big dish over there. We ate the sauerkraut. I had the sauerkraut. By then, I was hungry. I'd been quite a while since I've eaten. Wasn't too long, a German officer came in. He could speak better English than I. And this, by the way, was the 6th of June, 1944.
Wow.
And he told me, well, first he said, Schenkel, he said, you're a German. I said, I'm an American. He said, you say it like you mean. And I said, I do, and he laughs at me. Then he told me that the invasion was on. I wasn't paying a lot of attention to that because I'm concerned what they're going to do to me. I didn't know how much we could take. Name, rank, and serial number. And I said, when am I getting out of here? That's a smart remark. He laughed at that, and he says, you'll be out here by noon. We have all the information we need on you. And he looked at me, and I looked at him. He says, you don't believe me, do you? He handed the paper to me. I had all my crew members on and nothing else. I handed it back, didn't say a word. He says, what shot you down? Fighter's flak? I don't know. What's the name of the serial number? I didn't know. And that morning, I was out of there. And they sent me to Wetzlar, Germany. It was a transit camp. Wasn't there about 2 weeks. And then they sent me to my Stalag Luft 4. That's air camp number 4 up in Poland. When I walked to the gate, the man grabbed me and hugged me. He said, Roy, we thought you were dead. We didn't see anybody get out of your airplane. And he also said, we saw someone dangling on the tail of your aircraft. The fellow jumped ahead of me that panicked. He pulled his chute too soon and threw him up over the tail, and that's where he died. We lost 3 men on the plane, lost the bombardier navigator and the waist gunner. The pilot was blown out of the ship. He came to the hospital when I was there, and so was the tail gunner. They left us, but 3 of them was dead. And I tell you, I can still see that young man's face. Well, in that camp, they told us they were so hungry, the guys were eating grass. The prisoners were eating grass. I was there for a couple of days, and I heard some cheering out in the yard, and saw them bringing some Red Cross food parcels. Hadn't been for the Red Cross, we'd been buried over there. The Germans gave us nothing, and my meal for the day in German, in the Stalag Luft 4, was about 3 potatoes in the evening. In the morning, you got coffee made. They said made out of acorns, as bitter as you can taste it. You get used to it though. And that was a piece of bread. It was made out of, well, it was like a rock. They were putting, by the way, they were putting glass in the bread at the end of the war. At that time, we had to cut our bread just as thin as we can get it and show it the light, so we didn't eat the glass. Well, that's.
They just did that just to be mean, or why did they do that? Why did they put?
They're bitter. By the way, I had a fellow come in buck below me. He was from Tennessee. He said he was shot down over Berlin, and he says the civilians got him. But he told me, he says, Roy, I saw a lot of our people hanging. Civilians were hanging our troops, British and American. They were bitter. The cities were flat. I don't think there was a city that was 50,000 left in that country that wasn't flat. They bombed them to the ground.
Guys, this is in Europe that Mr. Schenkel's talking about, and then Mr. Boswell is dealing with Japan. We're fighting a 2-front war here. Now, you were a waist gunner, so you're
right waist on that side.
Right waist, and there were 10 guys.
Yes.
And everyone. What's the name of your plane? Well, did you have a logo?
Oh yes, you got a bombardier navigator up front.
But you had the logo. Did you have a name?
Nancy Lou. It's our main on the
Nancy Lou.
But this day I shot down was Jersey Mosquito.
Jersey Mosquito, and you had 10 guys. And now, how many of those guys survived?
Well, 7 of us got out.
Okay.
3 of them were killed.
Okay.
My ball turret gunner, by the way, he broke his collarbone. He thought he hit the tail of the aircraft when he bailed out. He and I were in the same barracks together, hospital together, and we stuck together all the way to possibly the end of the war.
Wow. But now we have 2 minutes.
Okay.
You can finish up, or you take a question or 2.
Well, whatever you guys.
You got
There's so much I could tell you, and I can't get it all in.
I know.
But anyway.
We need a whole day.
How big were one of those planes?
I'm sorry, I can't.
How large was a plane like this? How much did it weigh? How long was
Oh,
it?
I don't know, the wingspan was 103 feet, I know that. And it had 1,200 horsepower engines, Wright engines. And, it would cruise, we would cruise about 165 mile an hour, 175, but the top speed is about 220 mile an hour, that bomber there.
Were any of the Nazis nice a little bit?
I'm sorry?
Were any of the Nazis nice?
Were you the Nazis?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that one out. I would say this, one day I walked in the barracks, I walked up this little German guard, there's always in there checking on us, and I said, "Was ist los?" He wanted me to put a fire out in the incinerator. I said, "Nix verstehen, I don't understand." I walked away from him, and I turned around, he might right in my face, and I shoved him about near that door. That's a mistake, he could have shot me for that. But he left the room, he came back with my barracks chief, he said, "All he wants you to do is put fire in the incinerator." I said, "I know what he wants to do. Go do it." Well, I went out there with him, and he asked me a lot of questions. I turned around, gave him a few nasty words. I walked out of the compound with him, I put my arm on his shoulder, and said, "Lagerführer," and he's as our camp leader. He said, 9. 3 times I did that. And I looked back, and I think they surely had their sights on me in the guard tower.
When you bailed out of the plane, when you lost conscious, were you panicked you weren't gonna come back to?
I got over my panic.
Oh.
My mind cleared up. I knew everything what I was doing, and I did it well.
So we're gonna have Dylan quickly. Go ahead.
You know that guy that you were stuck together the whole time? Are you still friends with him today?
Are you still friends with the fella you were stuck with?
Oh well, they're all dead. I have a radio operator still alive.
Okay, you want me to stop it?
Guys, can we thank?
Wait, let me stop it. Let me stop it.